Hi, it's Dave, and today's kind of a dry run. I just going to be getting ready to start doing live streams, and I am checking out the equipment, making sure I'm set up. So I'm going to do a real quick recording today using my software that I'm going to be using with that. Totally new setup for me, more cameras, a lot more to have to worry about. So today we're going to do a real quick, some pattern and some texture below, and build on that, and then do a magazine image transfer at the end. So let's get to it. Okay, this is the image we're going to do at the end. I think it has enough contrast. It should work for us. It's a chance. But before we do anything, I'm going to put down some of the texture that I was talking about. I'm going to use a few of my stencils. So let's first off, before we do anything else, I want to put down maybe a solid color, and then we'll go from there. So let's get to it. It's this is a multimedia paper that I'm using. It's not heavyweight, but it's heavier weight than what a copy paper would be. And what I used, you saw me using there, was it's a registration tool. It allows me to place it in the same place every time. Not important that you have something like that, but it does help when you're trying to set things in the exact place. See how we did. I think that's a good starting place, and I don't mind the grunge on the plate. That's kind of actually going to be very useful. So that aside, let me just clean this up a little bit. Make sure I get all the paint off. It's not important. You don't have to. I kind of have a little gunge on there already, so it wouldn't hurt anything at all. Let's put down some more pattern. I don't know. Let's see. You know, I don't really want to go too heavy as far as a color on top of that. Maybe a little bit of bronze would look nice in the background. Trying to decide which side is going to have the most amount of flow. So let's try that. Getting mostly let's see how we did. That's nice and light. I like that. So I'm gonna pull this up with some. Satin medium, and the satin medium is nice because it's not extremely shiny. It's not matte, because matte sometimes stands out just as much. So this is right in between that and a gloss. So let's try this. Thing is that when you work with any kind of the gloss medium or the gel mediums, you have to be aware that they take longer to dry. And have to kind of move a little quicker. I could have achieved the same thing by putting down what I just put down first, and then putting that first paint that I put down. So just reversing the order. And it probably would have been the smarter way to do it, but this works. Smarter and right are two different things. Don't put that on yourself. One of the nice things about gel printing or any kind of art, you can't put too much stress on yourself as far as right way and wrong ways. Just your way. And sometimes your way will be something you don't like, and that's the important. Now I like using my hand to rub the image down on the plate. I also have a Baron, and the Baron works extremely well to give you nice even pressure. But again, just like the placement tool, you don't have to have it to do what I'm doing. I've also seen people take the bottom of a flat jar and use that. So, you'll find your way. You'll find the things that work for you. Let's see how we did here. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I like that. That bronze against that parchment. That's really kind of pretty. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe that way you can see it. But that's pretty nice. I'm going to put that aside. Let's put down some more pattern. I have a couple stencils here. These both came from Joggles. Just really everything I've used so far has just been what I was looking for. It was perfect. I think I'm going to put this down. That'll work nicely. I like the fact that it's not all one color. Wonder if that green is going to be too vibrant. Just kind of making this up as I go along. So maybe instead of the green, I'll go with more in the blue line. This is a transparent blue, but it's kind of really in your face. Let's go with it. Again, it's okay. See how that works against. Good. Not too much. I think that will work nicely. So, that's going to be, that'll allow what's below it, what's going to be this, should shine through nicely. And what you see on top is actually going to be behind the other image. So I'm going to pull this, and then we're going to do the image transfer. And let this dry. A lot of times when I'm in a big hurry and trying to get things done, put together, and keep it clean, you don't see this part. This is a Revlon curling dryer. Thank you to Julie, art by Julie E. She put me onto this dryer, and for this purpose, it is probably the best thing I could use. It has a cool setting, a low hot and a high hot setting. I generally don't use the other end of it, but the cool setting works really well, and the low setting for the hot can work well as long as I don't get too close to the image. I think that is dry enough. So again, I'm going to use the satin. Paper down, and we'll give it a good rub. You're getting this in real time, talking over the top of it, and working with the face camera on this. It's new. I mean, I when I was doing fluid art, and I will be getting back to that. When I was doing fluid art, you would see my face frequently because I had more cameras, but it wasn't. It was all a matter of editing. This is real time. A lot of times when I do my image transfers, I create the images that I use with Photoshop. I also have another image source. It's Jill Inspirations. I can leave that down in my description if you'd like to find it. Beautiful images, but not the. I did one last week that was all done in Photoshop and done with SVG files and PNG files, PNG files, then put together in Photoshop. I'm gonna probably put a video together how I do that. Kind of a little more technical, and it requires special software. But if you're interested, let me know if that's something that I should do. I've had a couple of people that have said they would like to see it. But let me know. Put it down in the comment section. And let's see how it's too bad. Kind of lost a little of the bronze. It's there. You can see the bronze still. It is certainly a nice background. So let's do the next step. Misplaced my palette knife that I use to put my paint down. The big container. I don't like to try to squirt it because it wastes paint. And the key to this is getting a nice, even layer. When I'm finished, I want it to kind of look a little matte. And taking our image, I've cut it to this size so that I can be lighting up. Put it down, put a good rub on it. You don't want to leave it down very long. I'm going to say the count of 10, like longest. Let's see how we did. And not bad. Clean it up just a little bit. What you look for in a image from a magazine, you want something with a lot of contrast. You want something that isn't too busy. Just pretty much very simple is what I've had the most amount of success with. But you know, it's a matter of taste. So that should probably work. I'm going to do a little bit of reverse painting on this because I'm going to lose her if I don't. So I think I'll put down some color with her outfit and a little bit of the parchment for the rest of her. It's a little by sky blue. Amsterdam. Add a little bit of retarded with this because this This is a golden retarder, and it just gives me more working time. It is very warm here in Arizona, and we are into the heat. The entire week has been all above 100. Makes it kind of hard to work with. The with acrylic paints, because they do dry extremely fast. I mean, that's part of the joy of acrylic, is because they do dry fast. But it's also probably part of what you have to deal with also. I'm also going to use a little bit of my Liquitex. This is light violet. It's actually blue violet. If they work mixed, because that's what I want them to do. What you don't see is I'm working with my I have a second gel plate over here, and I'm just mixing them together so I can get a little bit of variation. Oh, now I need to let this dry before I pick it up and put it on the other paper. It's drying extremely fast. The blue violet part is getting close. This will be pretty quick too. The whole thing with the retarder is it's allowed me more working time. Bad thing about the retarder is it allows more working time. And I have to wait long. And if you're like me, you know the feeling that impatience is when you have to wait for things. A little sticky, but they work. Okay. You know the routine. I'm just gonna put some gel medium down and we'll lift this. Okay, same as before. And just give this a good rub. Now I put a little bit more of the gel medium down, of the sat medium down. So this I'm gonna have to let this go for just a little bit longer. And the reason why we put down paint on top of things that you've already done is, as this is dried, it doesn't pick up at that point. So when I put down the sat medium, I'm reactivating that color underneath, that paint underneath, to allow it to lift. So you have to be kind of patient with this part of it, because if I go too fast, I'm only going to go partial image. I can go back in and try to do it again, and sometimes I'm successful at being able to get a second pull if I didn't get enough. But I'd rather not risk it. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for just a second. So, this is coming close to the end of it. We'll pull it in just a second. It's kind of important that you really, have a clear vision of what you want, but at the same time, don't be stuck to it. Don't be married to it, because sometimes they're happy accidents that'll come up, and the end results is actually, it'll end up being better than you were actually hoping for. And sometimes not so. But you have to be flexible with that. So I just have to tell you that a lot of times it's really more important that you have fun with it. So I want to, possibly take you down, and we'll give it a chance to pull, and we'll see how we're doing. She's not bad. I don't think that's too awfully bad. I did have some paint that stayed on the over on this side, but for a quick and easy tutorial on how to do a magazine image transfer, I don't think this is too bad. Will I keep it around? I probably will, because I'm going to my Posca markers and clean this up a bit and bring out some of the parts and give us some definition down the other parts that maybe didn't get enough. I can do something more with the face and what have you, and I'll probably do that because this is not a bad print. As you can see the image, you can see the flowers in her outfit. This is kind of an interesting piece that I started with. My magazine that I used this with was with Vogue. I had no intention of selling this, so it's not going to be. This is not a violation of copyright. You have to be careful with that. The people, it's intellectual property rights, and you really need to understand that an artist put their effort into it. So, if you're doing this for something you're going to sell, you would want to do that. So, put that aside, and I'll do the Posca later. I want to do my close on this, and do a debrief. So, there we have it. The final image, at least for what we're going to be doing today, is I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad at all, and I can see when I get the final part of it with the Poscas done, it'll be well worth the time. And for a quick and dirty, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to ask you, this is the beginning for me of going into a live stream situation. I'll know how this worked after I take this in and look at how it worked in my video editing program. But I will tell you that I am pretty excited the fact that I'll be able to share and be able to talk to you all live in real time. This is kind of a scary move, but at the same time, I think it'll help us to connect better. I want you, if you could, if you have friends that are into gel plate or thinking about gel plate or just like gel plating, if you could share this with them and let them know that we are going to be going into live stream on a frequent basis, maybe a few times a week. And I'd really appreciate it if you could invite them along. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe. Give it a like, maybe leave it a comment. I appreciate any comments you leave. And as always, it's important that we support each other in this process, because the art world, we do this alone. But working with a camera, you really have to push yourself out there. I hope you got something out of this. And until next time, I want to thank you again for being here. Bye for now.